Tonia's life began to unravel after her return from Emeka's house. Though she successfully deceived her family with her story of being kidnapped, the guilt and fear weighed heavily on her heart. She spent sleepless nights wondering what would happen if her secret came to light. Her father and brothers, enraged by the supposed kidnapping, began making plans to find and punish those responsible. They combed the village for clues, interrogated locals, and vowed to leave no stone unturned. Tonia's brothers were relentless, and their growing suspicion about her vague account left her constantly on edge. Meanwhile, Emeka, emboldened by his actions, began to spread word among his friends about his conquest. This led to rumors circulating in the village, though no one dared to confront Tonia's family directly. Lizzie, Tonia's friend, was torn with guilt. She had no intention of putting her friend in harm's way, but her decision to take Tonia to Emeka's house had led to devastating consequences. Liz wanted to confess to Tonia's family, but feared the wrath of her protective brothers. Instead, she distanced herself from Tonia, leaving her to face her turmoil alone. Weeks turned into months, and Tonia realized she was pregnant. The news shattered her spirit. She knew this revelation could destroy her family's honor and bring unimaginable disgrace. She tried to hide the pregnancy for as long as possible, but her brothers began to notice changes in her demeanor and physical appearance. One fateful evening, her eldest brother confronted her, demanding the truth. Cornered and overwhelmed with shame, Tonia finally broke down and confessed everything: her forbidden trip to Lizzie's, her encounter with Emeka, and the events that followed. Her brothers were furious, and their anger was uncontainable. Their rage boiled over into a violent confrontation with Emeka. The 12 brothers stormed Emeka's home, dragging him out and subjecting him to a brutal beating in front of the village. Emeka's family tried to intervene, but they were overpowered by the enraged siblings. Tensions in the village grew as the incident created divisions among its residents. While some sympathized with Tonia's family, others condemned the brothers for taking matters into their own hands. The village elders were forced to intervene, calling for a meeting to resolve the escalating conflict. At the meeting, Tonia's father demanded justice, while Emeka's family pleaded for mercy. The elders listened intently before deciding that Emeka must marry Tonia to restore her honor. Though this decision was meant to bring peace, it was far from a resolution for Tonia, who felt betrayed and trapped. She had no desire to marry the man who had violated her, but her voice was drowned out by the pressures of tradition and family expectations. The village elders arranged for the wedding to take place within a month, leaving Tonia with little choice but to comply. As preparations for the wedding began, Tonia sank deeper into despair. Her once joyful spirit was now burdened by shame and resentment. She confided in her mother, who tried to console her, but also urged her to see the marriage as an opportunity for a fresh start. Tonia's brother, still furious, kept a close watch on her, ensuring she had no chance to run away. Meanwhile, Emeka tried to win her over, promising to be a good husband, but his efforts only fueled her anger and disgust. On the day of the wedding, Tonia felt like a lamb being led to the slaughter. The ceremony was grand, attended by the entire village, but she could hardly bring herself to smile. As she exchanged vows with Emeka, she made a silent promise to herself: she would find a way to reclaim her life, no matter how long it took. The marriage marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life, one filled with challenges, heartbreak, and a quest for redemption. Tonia's marriage to Emeka was anything but harmonious. She struggled to coexist with a man she despised, while Emeka, oblivious to her pain, tried to assert his dominance as her husband. Their home became a battleground, with arguments and resentment overshadowing any attempt at reconciliation. Tonia's pregnancy progressed, and despite her unhappiness, she found solace in the life growing inside her. She resolved to be a loving and protective mother, vowing to give her child a better future. As months passed, Tonia gave birth to a baby boy. The arrival of her son brought a glimmer of hope to her otherwise bleak existence. She poured all her love and energy into caring for him, finding purpose in his innocence. Her brothers, despite their lingering anger towards Emeka, adored their nephew and pledged to protect him at all costs. However, the tension between Tony and Emeka remained unresolved, and their strained relationship took a toll on her mental health. Tonia began to dream of a life beyond the confines of her unhappy marriage. She longed for freedom and independence, but the weight of societal expectations and her responsibilities as a mother held her back. She secretly started saving money, determined to build a life for herself and her husband, her son. With each passing day, her resolve grew stronger, and she began to envision a future where she could reclaim her happiness and dignity. Tonia's desire for freedom became an unrelenting force in her life, though she knew escaping her current reality would not be easy. Her days were consumed by a cycle of caring for her son, enduring Emeka's indifference, and silently planning her way out. She began to confide in her mother, sharing her dreams of independence. Her mother, torn between cultural norms and her love for her daughter, secretly supported her by giving her small amounts of money to add to her savings. In the village, whispers about Tonia's situation persisted. Some women sympathized with her plight, while others judged her for bringing dishonor to her family. Tonia learned to ignore the gossip, focusing instead on her son, whom she named Chibike, meaning God is my strength. Her bond with Chibike grew stronger with each passing day. His laughter brought light into her otherwise dark world, reminding her that she had something worth fighting for. As time passed, Emeka's behavior became increasingly volatile. He began drinking heavily and neglecting his responsibilities. Tonia bore the brunt of his frustration, enduring his verbal abuse and occasional outbursts of anger. She shielded Chibike from Emeka's wrath as best she could, often retreating to her parents' home for refuge. Her brothers, still protective of her, often confronted Emeka, warning him to treat Tonia with respect. These confrontations only worsened the tension, leaving Tonia feeling trapped between her family and her husband. One fateful evening, after a particular heated argument, Tonia made a life-changing decision. She packed a small bag with essentials, took Chibike in her arms, and left Emeka's house under the cover of darkness. She sought refuge with a distant aunt who lived in a neighboring village. Her aunt, a widow who had faced her own share of struggles, welcomed Tonia with open arms. She provided her with a safe space to heal and think about her next steps. In her aunt's home, Tonia found solace and began rebuilding her life. She started a small business selling handmade jewelry, using the skill her mother had taught her as a child. Her creation quickly gained popularity in the village, earning her enough income to support herself and Chibike. For the first time in years, Tonia felt a sense of empowerment and hope. She was no longer defined by her past, but by the strength she found within herself. Meanwhile, back in her home village, the news of Tonia's departure spread like wildfire. Her brothers were livid, feeling betrayed by her decision to leave without informing them. They accused Emeka of driving her away and vowed to bring her back. However, their father, who had grown weary of the constant conflict, intervened. He urged his son to respect Tonia's choices, reminding them that she deserved a chance to find happiness on her terms. As Tonia's business flourished, so did her confidence. She began to dream of expanding her enterprise and providing a better future for Chibike. She also started attending church regularly, finding comfort and strength in her faith. Through prayer and reflection, she began to heal from the trauma of her past. She forgave herself for the mistakes she had made and sought guidance on how to navigate the challenges ahead. One day, Tonia received an unexpected visitor, Lizzie. Overcome with guilt, Lizzie had come to apologize for her role in Tonia's ordeal. She confessed that she had been manipulated by Emeka and his friends, who had pressured her into luring Tonia to their house. Though Tonia was initially angry, she saw the sincerity in Lizzie's apology and chose to forgive her. Their reconciliation marked a turning point for Tonia, who realized that holding on to resentment would only hinder her growth. As years passed, Tonia's life transformed. Her jewelry business became a thriving enterprise, attracting customers from far and wide. She used her success to help other women in the village, teaching them skills and providing them with opportunities to earn a living. Her story became an inspiration to many, a testament to resentment and determination. Chibuike grew into a brilliant and compassionate young boy, deeply proud of his mother's achievements. Though Tonia's journey was far from easy, she found strength in the love she shared with her son and the community she built around her. She learned to embrace her past as part of her story, not a definition of her worth. In reclaiming her life, Tonia discovered a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment, providing that even in the face of adversity, one can rise and strive. I hope you enjoyed my story. Please subscribe, like and share my channel to your friends and to ensure you get regular updates. Thanks.